Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So Palantir is changing. The question is, for us investors, is it for the better or worse? They have recently had Foundry Con, and as I was sick and had a lot of other things going, I couldn't review it, and I'm starting to go back in the groove, and I found this piece of gem that I want to watch with you guys because I really feel that they have changed and course corrected on how they communicate with investors and how they, I said this wrong. So they changed and course corrected on how they communicate with the customers. And this is fantastic. They are finally making their product understandable, and they're doing marketing as they should be. And that was, something that a lot of bears were upset about, that they were not explaining their product correctly. They were not marketing correctly. And this was really holding them back. So this video is mind blowing. Let's watch it together. And I want to give you my reactions. And as always, if you like this content, please make sure you subscribe. And if you want to go further, check out the first link in the description box below, where you can support this channel for $5 a month, get direct access to me, and some other goodies. So here we go.
All right. Well, it's great to be back in the Shire and welcome you all here. I wanted to frame out some of the ways that we're thinking about our product and thinking about the product in the context of the world that we do live in, what you heard really from Alex and from Mike there. Oh, can we go back one? Sorry. Yeah, so it's clear, as we just discussed, that the geopolitical consensus that we've had over the last 40 years, that the world would get more stable, more predictable, more peaceful, that's crumbled. And I think something that's less clear but equally true is that the software consensus that underpinned that view has also crumbled. In a world that's getting more predictable, the most important thing that you can focus on is the perfect plan, the perfect prediction of what's going to happen. But when the plans went awry, when all of this stuff crumbled in a world that we're actually living in, one where things are becoming less certain, more unpredictable, less clear, the one thing you actually know is that your plan is wrong, and that all of your alpha as an institution is going to come down to your ability to react to the error in your plan, to react to reality.
By the way, maybe this is crystal clear for you as a viewer. I had to actually look this up, but alpha and beta is how the market is doing, and obviously that is helping your company in a way. So when the beta is good, meaning everybody is doing good, then your business is probably going to do good. And alpha is the difference of your performance compared to how the market is doing. So if, all the companies are growing 10% and you're growing 30%, then your alpha is 20%. This is maybe not the perfect explanation, but it's very important for this context. So just wanted to make sure we all have this.
And that, I think, is where all the pundits said that software was going to eat the world. From my perspective, between Ukraine, inflation, COVID, and the aftershocks that have followed, it looks much more like the world ate software. How much software that predated those events really withstood the test of time and really helped companies navigate those challenges. And from my experience on the front lines, almost none. That it's not about your plan. I think the saying is that plans are worthless. Planning is invaluable, but plans are worthless. And of course, the saying is that no plan survives first contact. And that's really the formative experiences that we had as working with customers that viewed the real capability, like how you were going to win, not just be more productive, but how are you going to win, as your ability to react to reality faster than the other party could. And now that's what we're seeing. Like in a time of stability, it was all beta. The rising tide lifted all boats. Focus on efficiency.
So basically, super interesting what he's saying. So he's saying that when the world is stable, all you have to do is just have a perfect plan. Like, we're going to make 10 apples and there's going to be 10 customers, and we take it in this one car and sell it. And it's always going to work. But in a world where you have COVID and inflation and wars and, things are very unstable, then your ability to survive as a business depends on how well and fast you can do the planning. And this is going to bring about the alpha in your business in this new world.
In the reality that we live in, alpha is back in a big way. And that is going to be your competitive advantage as an institution going forward. So when we look at Ukraine and COVID and inflation, what we see is that literally every function of every business is breaking under these stresses. And what's interesting about the phenomenon, and Ari's question actually hit it, it's not the aftershocks are more profound and dislocative than the initial earthquake itself. And those things are continuing to ricochet around. And it seems very unlikely that we're going to get into some sort of, emergent, stable equilibrium like this. It's actually going to be a place that we have to continue responding and reacting. And that is exactly the world that we built our software for, to be the agility layer that would help your enterprise respond to everything that's changing here. So whether that's optimizing patient bed utilization and nurse staffing levels at a hospital whose fundamental labor model and backlog has been dislocated massively from COVID and everything after that, or it's driving supply chain visibility into what's clear to build. We have started 25 major supply chain projects this year alone, or that's managing logistics in the face of now increasing fuel prices. But before that, it was truck shortages, worker shortages, and increasingly tight fulfillment windows where you can actually go and capture the revenue. Or keeping automotive factories open when you realize that every single wiring harness that you put, $5 part that you put into your car comes from Ukraine. How do you dynamically reprioritize your customer orders and the production plan that you're going to have in a way that keeps everything fully employed here? And that's how we think about, that is the world that for the better part of 15 years we built our software for. So when we think about our software platforms, we really think about them as operating systems, not systems of insight, but really the way that your business runs. Operating systems that aspire to act as the nervous system, as the cardiovascular system of your enterprise. Gotham, Foundry, Apollo. It creates a single pane of glass to help you execute your mission in Gotham's context, or run your business with Foundry, or deliver your software in Apollo's sense. And Gotham is very much focused in the defense context on AI enabling the kill chain for deterrence. Really a lot of the themes that Alex had spoken about here. But for us, that means operating across all domains from space to mud and integrating every sensor with every shooter and getting faster and faster at helping humans make decisions and outcompete the adversary here. In the Foundry context, now going from kill chains to supply chains, it's really about connecting and integrating the decision-making within your value chain, not just within your four walls, but really the entirety of your value chain, from your suppliers to your customers. That's the equivalent of from your sensors to your shooters there. And in doing so, it's focused on making you more different, not more similar. This is not productivity software like Zoom.
I love what he's saying here. So first of all, why Foundry and Palantir are sometimes so hard to explain to people is because it's not a program that is like Zoom or that is, like an Excel that everybody can use the same way. It's something that is designed to be the operating system of your company. And this is going to come even later on. That is going to be different based on the problem that you're handling. So it's very hard to showcase what it is. And this has been their major problem that they are majorly handling with this Foundry Con, is showing what they can actually do. And I really love what he's saying here.
It's just about, improving how efficient you can do something. It's about being the ultimate expression of your strategy as a business, which is going to be different than your competitors, it's going to be different than adjacent industries. That is the nature of alpha, that you have to be more different and differentiated than anyone else. And these platforms, they focus on time to value. Like that's where we see real transformation happen here. And of course, it took us 15 years and $3 billion to build this software, but what it's really allowed us to do is to build the software the world needs before it knows it needs it, because we've had this monastic commitment to focusing on delivering end-to-end outcomes. We were able to power the Afghan evacuation with 22 hours notice. We were able to build the US and UK COVID vaccine supply chains with 5 weeks notice. Of course, it's more like 15 years plus 5 weeks, or 15 years plus 22 hours. But that monastic focus is what helps you understand what is left to build.
This is so insane. The stuff that he's saying, that they were able to do these things within 22 hours and 5 weeks, is literally insane. And there is also other customers that were in the Foundry Con, and I'm going to make videos about them, that say that they have been spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing software that for many, many years that nobody was using. Or you can spend $6 million on a solution with Palantir and within 5 weeks, you're getting value out of it. Insane. That's all I can say.
Is powering this flywheel for us, where we're just building so much new product that we hope will meet the moments for the world that we see coming in the near term here. Some of this you can see throughout the conference here. Software like MetaConstellation, which has a digital twin of commercial space collection capabilities and allows you to reimagine how you actually drive tasking. And certainly that has an effect on the battlefield, but it's also helping utility-scale solar companies image very remote solar installations and better understand how to do predictive maintenance and how to optimize their solar production. Software like SkyKit that takes MetaConstellation and puts it in a portable form factor for soldiers in the field to actually use to drive operational tasking. Or Pipeline Builder, which has transformed the economics of data integration. At the NHS in the UK, it has tripled the speed by which they're able to bring data from 400 different hospitals together for clinical outcomes. Foundry Unchained now means that you can run Foundry on top of your extant cloud data warehouses. And FedStart, which builds on our Apollo offering, is going to enable software companies in the US to actually get FedRAMP and IL6 certification literally overnight. So just more and more stuff here that we think is going to be key to the events that are about to come. But this is Foundry Con, so let's focus a little bit on Foundry for a second here. When I think about Foundry and the world that we're likely to see, the challenges that our customers face, there are, I think, really three critical capabilities that every institution is going to need to navigate this. And the first of these is that Foundry makes the marginal cost of data integration effectively zero. The cynical way to think about Palantir is that it took something as sexy as James Bond to motivate engineers to work on a problem as boring as data integration. But we have productized this. Like, instead of having lots of humans going out and trying to bring data together, we have software-defined data integration. And for things that cannot be completely productized, you have Pipeline Builder that just helps you do it 10 times faster than your alternative. And this means data integration goes from being a liability to an asset. We were able to integrate with each of the 6,000 hospitals in the U.S. in the first 3 weeks of the pandemic to create the first national level visibility into ICU bed utilization, PPE consumption rates, and ventilator capacity.
Insane.
These hospitals has a system that's kind of unique and bespoke and messed up in its own way. That's the nature of these things. And you can't really go at that speed or scale unless you have software that's writing its own data pipelines for you. We're able to bring 26 different ERP systems together in less than 2 weeks. Not 2 decades, not 2 years, in less than 2 weeks. And this is this single pane of data. And I think that's a really crucial capability and concept for every institution. But data integration is not inherently valuable. It's a means to an end. It gets you to the starting line. What are you supposed to do now with this integrated data? And the second major pillar is that people will need to radically transform their own marginal cost of application development. How long is it going to take you to build new applications that actually operate your business? I don't mean dashboards that just give you insights. I mean actual applications that are interconnected to each other, that integrate with your underlying your existing extant transactional investments, so that you can allocate inventory, so that you can change your production plan, so that you can...
What he's saying is so insane. It's actually mind-boggling. And I don't know if it relates home to me, because in the first business that I had, it was a gardening business, a cleaning business. And the only major advancements we made as regards to profitability, it was when we were able to cut down on the office personnel. And we found programs to integrate together to, schedule customers, send the bills, keep track of the hours, do the bookkeeping. And we actually, as the business was growing, we were only adding gardeners and cleaners, and we were actually taking away office personnel. And our profitability was skyrocketing in that business. It's not a software business, but so I know what software can do even in a very, very small company. And what he's saying here is that when you have Palantir, your own people that are using your business with very little coding knowledge, okay, he didn't say it here, but I know from other sources that they can make their own applications to use in the business, and it's going to work with all other parts of your business, and you can have different departments of your business do applications that is needed for exactly those departments, and it will communicate with the other applications that the other departments make. And it's just mind-boggling. Cost of this literally becomes zero. Your existing staff, obviously with a little bit of training, can do all these things for you, and you don't have to hire the world's best data engineers, the world's best IT people, and invest literally hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars into your business just to get something done. This is so major. I cannot talk anything about it, and it's so funny how casually he just, by the way, mentions it as one of the points.
Task a drone. And that's absolutely crucial. In the first 2 days of having that integrated data foundation, the U.S. government was able to build their national level PPE allocator. So you can think about having ICU bed utilization, ventilator capacity, inventory levels. That's the demand side of the forecast. Where might things need to go? Now, how do I connect that up into my supply chain? And just having, it's not 2 months, it's not many months, it's 2 days to build an application that frontline users and all 50 states and tribes and jurisdictions can use to drive this
insane speed.
Frontline. And the third capability that integrates that operational reality with strategy is the digital twin. And to me, this is one of the most, a native modeling and simulation capability that allows you to react to reality. If your plan was perfect, you wouldn't really need this. But when things happen in the world, when your supplier gives you half of what they said they were going to give you, when the disease spreads in ways that you hadn't anticipated, you need to be able to ask the question, what can I do now? And what can I do now is in of itself a function of your own goal, your own strategy institution. Are you trying to optimize revenue, optimize production, optimize customer fulfillment and satisfaction? The answer to that question will depend on the day. It will depend on your goals. It will depend on what's going on here. How do you get the system to generate courses of action for you, to use the government terminology on this, that enables the operator to quickly execute something and then understand the full consequences of what might happen, not only within their own function. It's great if you can buy something 30% off if your job is procurement, but if that has a 40% less yield in production, you're just passing the buck on. So how do you model this? This is the integrated value chain here. How do you model this holistically, understand what's actually in the best interest of the business? And so this is really the core of what we've invested in, continue investing in Foundry. I think you'll see some of these themes from the speakers today, and that's really the most important part here, which is while I am really excited to have you all here and hear your feedback and what's working, what's not working, and in my own little lens, imagine the future of what we'll continue to build. I think the most exciting part for you all is to hear from each other and hear about the challenges and experiences and what could be. So thank you once again for joining us.
So I really hope the sound was very, very low on this video, so I couldn't really do much about it. I hope it wasn't bothering you, but I'm completely mind-blown by what he said. It's an amazing way to communicate to new companies. And again, Foundry is so hard to understand for investors because it's different for every company, and they tailor make it, and your own people can, it can be your operating system where your people with very little coding and very little training can make their own apps that fit your own business, and it makes your differences more different from other, and it can really bring about alpha. And I'm so excited about this. Can't wait to make new content about this. And I can't believe that the stock price is still at $8. It's a Christmas gift to all of us smart investors. I mean, this is not investment advice, just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.